Hello everyone, and today I get to show you why using a genuine Apple charger is so important. Well, not genuine Apple charger, but they must be MFI certified, which means whoever's making the cable has purchased a specific chip that should go in the cable directly from Apple, which makes it safe to use with your Apple device. So what we've got in today is an iPhone 5S, which has come into us just for a simple battery replacement, but we've soon found out that there's obviously a little bit more to it. So what we've done is, basically it's still got the original battery in there at the moment, which clearly doesn't power on the phone. It does now because I've charged it externally. But the customer brought it in and it was unable to charge this battery, so the battery's gone dead. They've been unable to charge it and assumed that the phone is dead, and so the most likely thing is obviously change your battery. So we'll let it finish booting up. As I say, I've had the battery. In fact, no, this is the new battery that I've put in now, because I've done the swap already. So this battery should be almost fully charged. So we'll just let it get started up. I'll bring up my mess of chargers, and I'll show you that when I plug this in. Can you see that there on the camera yet? Right, so when I plug this in, you'll see that nothing registers on the phone here, and that the phone is not pulling any current, so we know it's not charging. So there you go, plug it in, the phone doesn't wake up, there's nothing displayed here, it's not pulling any current at all. And then so if I wake it up, the button's not plugged on, if I wake it up doing that, I don't know if you can make that out there, there's no charging symbol at all on the phone. So, you know, the first thing to check is the port faulty? Maybe there's a problem there. So we'll just power this down again. I'll disconnect the battery, unplug that, and get a brand new port that I've tested on another phone, so I know this port does work. So plug that on. Plug in the battery, and another thing you'll notice is when you plug the phone in to the port, the phone knows it's being plugged in because it will power on. You know, you don't have to touch the power button. Here we go. Phone powers on. It does that with the old port as well. As you can see, we're still not pulling any current. So the phone senses the cable is there but is refusing to charge. We'll just wait a minute for this to start up, and you'll see there's still no charging symbol on the phone, still no current being drawn. And there you go. And also this is a brand new battery. I'll show you the test results of it on there. I have charged it externally before putting it into the phone, and it got to 100%, and this phone has barely been on any time at all. And yet it's gone from 100 down to 91% now. Probably in total it's been on about 10 minutes. And so a new battery shouldn't be draining that fast. And that is yet another sign that we've got damage to what's called the Tristar chip, which happens when you use a cable without the proper chip from Apple in the cable. Don't know why it has to be that way, but it does, and so that is the problem that you get. So it doesn't matter what battery you put in here, because the phone is going to pull more power, it's always going to drain any battery much faster than it should. So let me just... Right, I can't pull that battery out of there, and I don't want to because there's no need to, but let me just show you you see the results of this on here. If I can plug this battery in to this board, just for the health data on this battery. You can get the angle of it. Okay, so iPhone 5S, original battery. Can you see that if I zoom in? Yeah, original battery, so it's not been charged any times. It's showing its design capacity of 1,550 milliamp hours. Its actual capacity is showing as 1,567 milliamp hours. You know, in all intents and purposes, that is a good battery. The one which came out of it, I can connect up in the same way. I've got that externally charging down here, but I can show you that one. So this was also an original battery. It's been charged 975 times. And only down to an 82% efficiency, which is, you know, the battery's been really well looked after. Usually you'd see them in much worse condition than that, so that's not too bad at all. But you know, how many times it's been charged has probably affected the life of that, and that won't give you very good performance in the phone. So we can get rid of that. So I'm now going to disassemble this phone, take the motherboard out, and take you through essentially the steps to repair this fault, get this phone back into a condition where it's able to charge a battery again. And we do that by removing the motherboard and removing a chip from the motherboard, the Tristar chip, and replacing it with a new one which is undamaged. Okay, so motherboard out. We'll remove this RF cable from the back. Okay, and now we'll go over to the microscope and we get the shield off, we'll take the chip off and put a new one on. Okay, so let's get set up over here. We're going to want iron. And okay, let's get you some microscope cam. There we go, shield removed. We'll need that later. And let's just remind ourselves where our little Tristar friend is. Been a while since I opened a 5S board. For a Tristar at least. There you go, and this is the one here. That's our little friend. So he needs to come off. And can I do that without zooming in too much? Struggling to get you a clear image on the scope, but I think that's good enough. So Tristar, there it is. You can see the chip number on there now, 1610A1. So we must replace that with a like chip or a. There's newer revisions, and I think the one that I've got might be an A3. We'll get one out and have a look, which is slightly newer, which is not a problem. You can use newer, but you cannot. If there was a newer chip on the board to start with, you cannot replace it with an older one. So what's this that I've got? That's yeah, 1610A3. So this is a couple of generations newer, and that'll go on there just fine. So we'll move that aside. Flux our chip. Warm it up and take it off. So I just like to hold the chip and lift the board slightly and let the weight of the board pull the chip off, and that way you know it's coming off at exactly the right time to not cause any damage to the board, and you're not overheating anything. And there it goes. So that one we can discard, we're not going to need that one. And so it's a case of just cleaning up the pads that we've got here with the iron, adding some leaded solder to those pads. for the purpose of the video, I'll clean that area up. Although in reality there's no real need to, just put some more flux on and put the new chip on and you're good to go. But that just makes it a bit easier to see that the pads need to be all cleaned up like that. There's one there that's, what is that, missing or just not shiny? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I think it's just not shining. Yeah, there she goes. So all pads intact, we can take our new chip. And if you were paying attention, you'd have seen that the chip come off in this orientation. So all the lettering upside down as we're looking at it. You've gone out of focus again, so let's just bring that back in. There you go. I'm going to need some more flux down before that chip goes in there. And you'll see on the underside of the chip, it already comes with new solder balls on there, which are going to line up on these pads and make a good connection on there. So back you go, little Mr. Tristar. So at this point I'm just looking at it, trying to line it up as best I can. And as we add the heat to it, it's going to start dancing around and it's going to find its own way to where it needs to go. Just going to add a magnet to the edge of the board there to try and keep the board down, as the heat is going to make this silicone pad rise. I'm going to do this without the magnet, so I'm going to just put this in the board holder. The magnets are pulling my tweezers, and I don't want that to put me off. Let's get you back focused. Where are we? There's our little Tristar friend, and this needs to come up. There you go, I think you can just about see that. Give it a little tap. There we go. And that is in position. Let the board cool down, which I tend to do. It obviously cools down a lot faster if you place that on a piece of metal. I just put that under my silicone mat there to let the heat drain out of that much faster. Which is cooler, but I don't want it to be too cool before I get the chance to clean off the flux with some alcohol, and just check that we are in a good position. Looks good to me. Where's my toothbrush gone? Okay, all looks good. Now, normally I'd like to test everything before I go and put the shield back on, but I am quietly confident that that's gone okay. So I will risk putting the shield back on, because if all has gone well, I then won't have to take it back out of the board again to put it back on afterwards. And the risk is that I just need to remove the shield once again, should it not work properly and I have to come back to it. But chances are I think that's going to be okay. So we'll go ahead and put this shield back in place. Good. Right, now let's go back over, put this together, and see if we're now charging. Right, so here we are back at the desk. Let's put this board back where it lives and see what we're up to. Right, let's put this little cable back. Tweezers are over there still. Need more tweezers. You never have enough tweezers. So I want my charge port on. I want my power button on. That connects here. We'll have a screen. Let's put the camera on as well, might as well. Not going to screw it all in just yet in case it does need to come back out. But let's connect the battery and bring back up my my little mess of charging cables. Right, so we're using the original charge port under the assumption that the charge port is all still okay. And let's see what we get. Everything's on. Let's plug it in and watch what we get on there, if anything. Okay, so we've got activity on here. It's now pulling some charge. That's definitely a good sign. Just let that start up. I would expect this to be a little bit lower than normal because the battery in it is quite full, and as it fills up, this current slows down anyway. But knowing how full it is and seeing this current reading, I'm quite confident that that has gone well and that this phone is now back to being fully functional. So we have got the little charge indicator on the screen. The phone indicates that it is charging. It's now pulling current decently, and again, as that battery is saying 86% full, so as that if that was more drained, then you'd probably look at about 1 amp, just over an amp on here for this model phone. But that is now charging the battery. We shouldn't be draining the battery faster than normal, and so that's it. That's a successful repair. So use your MFI cables. If you're in any doubt of whether your cable is certified, this little device here that we use to test the batteries can also check your cables. So if I just get rid of the battery module at the moment and disconnect the power. If I take this out, I can plug this in. And power this back on. If I take this cable here that I've just been charging with, and this is not an Apple cable, this is an Anchor cable, which we find are higher quality than the Apple ones, as well as being cheaper than the Apple ones, and they serve us very well here, and we know each one has a serial number on it, which you can actually check against Apple's website and ensure that it is the real deal. So without testing this, we already know that it is, but if you do not know your cable, feel free to come along and have us test it for you. We'll plug it into this machine. It will read the microchip on there and basically give you a health reading of that. Okay, so as you can see, original data cable. You probably can't see, let me bring that into focus. Okay, so it'll tell you the manufacturer, all these different serial numbers and ID codes. The MOS, that's MOSFET. Basically, that's the kind of chip that you want to be on there that makes it safe to use. You've got your positive, negative, and ground. All should check out and be okay for that to be a safe cable. And as you can see, this one, we're quite happy that that's safe. We use it on our own phones and all of the ones that we get in here to test. So there you go. That's it for today. Thank you very much.